Excuse me. So let's continue this here. Oh, yeah, we've done what we probably should do offensively here, and we're holding just fine otherwise. All right. Okay, let's see how this goes. It's either War in These Two Manual or Gibbon's Rise and Fall of the Roman Empire for a quick read. Yes, yes. I get the reference, yes. Oh, yes. Or hey, now if you want a little bit longer, read the Durant's, Will Durant's, History of Civilization. What is it, an 8 volume, 12 volume set? I have it on my shelf. I've only cracked it open yet, but the Durant books, yes. That actually makes Gibbons looks a little short. Yes, we'll give you this turn. Okay, they've come. Oh. We've had a major sea battle. We'll see if we survived, if we did well in a moment. Let's zoom in a little better. And remember that the Chinese best practices here is just simply to hold China, if you will, and give Japan a hard time. It really isn't the idea of an offensive to Nanking or anything like that. And I think we're doing reasonably well. And the AI has improved, I've been informed, since the version I'm currently playing. Yeah, it's like a dozen books. I'd have to go look. I've read bits and pieces, but I've not read it all. My copy or my set of volumes I inherited from my grandparents. Okay, so okay. Japan's torpedo boat sunk, torpedo boat sunk, torpedo boat sunk, torpedo boat sunk. Oh, maybe we did very well in that. Okay, well, their attack squadron with 5 groups, sinking 2 merchants, sinking 5 merchants. So we got to keep replacing merchants. So this may have turned out very good. I'm just going to save this right here. Well, 0, 4, just so that if I mess anything up, I can come back to this. And the 2 about Greece and Caesar, right? See, you youngsters, there used to be, well, there still are, but the main way to get knowledge was to read books. These are these things that have lots of pages made out of paper inside. Well, it can be different sort of hard or soft bindings, and you had to flip through them. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, we have here is super rain. When you have double level rain, you cannot do any air operations. When you have a single drop of rain, that you can do some level of operations. I want to unselect this. I want to select it. 1 ship in the area. Now let's unselect these. I'm going to unselect this. I'm going to unselect the heavy and that. So now we have mostly a surface fleet. Fleet can't attack while transporting units. Okay, so we have to separate out from the transports. Now we're going to do the naval attack. Enemy fleet not found. So they're not found. Okay. Now can I get ashore? Not sure what I'm doing wrong, if anything is wrong. So I don't know if I just don't have enough landing. Show invasion. No landing locations available. Okay. Let's undo this. Right, okay. Now okay, that came ashore then. Okay, I guess it's maybe too heavy of the rain, because that's what I sought to see different here. Okay. These guys are low on fuel, so we're going to go back to port. Low on supplies. Yeah, I think it was just too bad weather. Yes, I think that was the case. Because I know I've done naval invasions before, but now here. Let's swap these out. 1 to 3, not a good attack chance yet. So what we need to see about doing here is getting some more air in the theater. And we should have, where are they all? Okay, now we need to put more on. We need to get these guys. Prioritize reinforcements because I want to get them up to strength. To Australia. To Australia. Now, how big of a group are we going to move with this? All of this? No. I don't know. I'm just still vaguely paranoid enough about, well, CV. Okay, well, nope. We're just all going to go. Big fleet movement. All right, now I'm hoping here we'll be able to march down to Moresby to get supplies. Let's do an airstrike here. Ooh, we damaged a bunch of ships. So it took some damage. I think we're going to do that again. Well, we lost more air than the enemy did, but hopefully weakened whatever is your combat logs. Okay, well, nope, not partisan activity. Oh, current turn. Yes, we would help naval strike. Okay, here we can see our losses. There's Yokohama Home Forces. Good, okay. Hopefully that'll be able to handle the Yokohama Home Forces. That's not a good. We just need more air power. More battleships to come in and shore bombard them, maybe. Cut off their supplies. All those could be useful, maybe. All right. Bomber group, we're going to deploy that. I guess down here. Oh, the Iowa is ready. Wow. Anything else? Not that I'm expecting anything, just want to check. Okay, production stockpile. We're stockpiling up the US. Close support, or we don't have enough for. So we need to stockpile up more, either for close support or naval targeting. We could afford the naval targeting, but not for that year. Now Australia. Okay, so most of theirs are just going to upgrade and keeping up. China similarly. All right. Okay, so we're facing basically sort of monsoons or whatever out here in the Bay of Bengal. So hopefully that will clear up. I do not know the weather patterns. I guess August is not the normal good time for invasion, so we'll see if we can get an invasion with better weather. So I want to get there. They sailed out in our aircraft, attempted to intercept. We'll look at the combat logs to see if we did any good. You can adjust the rate that this stuff is shown at, the actions, to very fast, basically faster than the eye is going to follow. Just with a lot of stuff, it's trying to balance so you can see it on stream without slowing things down too much. And yes, as you see that Stream Elements is asking you to follow on Twitch. do follow the Slithering account on whatever social media platforms you regularly use. Often find goodies like when sales happen and what the stream schedule I know is posted on Twitch coming up. Sort of some of the first there, and not just what games, but who. Okay, we'll also take a look at that action as well. Okay. This is not good. Lexington sunk. Japan's Hiru is sunk. Yorktown is sunk. Enterprise is sunk. Chester Group is sunk. Saratoga is sunk. Hornet is sunk. Okay. Now I'm going to go back and replay this. Because as you well saw, I did not want to do this invasion. This was more of an experiment as why this one wasn't working. And we got caught here. Last turn. Carrier interdiction. And so coming around here was just a little too much for what we faced. We have a destroyer squad from the left. And of course we split our forces, which has a lot of anti-aircraft forces dealing with that. And so that was just really in my mind, it was just an experiment. But yeah, that is a massive destruction of U.S. naval forces. So that is why I'm going to quit here to main menu. We're going to go back and load here. Yeah, Chaplain. That is devastating. Okay. And it's not even so much now that I know that that's happened. I was wanting to get Port Moresby as my main goal and objective there. So what we're going to do is deselect all this. Earnest gameplay. These guys are going to come back into port. And the enemy fleet, nothing really happened there. Let's also, and probably should have stood these together. I'm going to unselect, but let's go. Let's get, because we're going to do surface action. So we're going to send the carriers. Yeah. And some destroyers back as well. That would have been better to do that as one. Now here, we're going to do a naval attack with all the rest of the surface fleet. Enemy not found in the heavy rain. And they're going to come back to port. So now we're in port. Okay, that's sort of the real operation, if you will. We've hit them by one. Land operation there. Still not, of course, good enough to attack. In War in the Pacific, this happened to me during PvP campaign. We shook hand virtually and then started a new game. This is no. Hello, M. Grouter Haven. This is WarPlan Pacific. So not as detailed a game as War in the Pacific. It is, if you know of WarPlan, which is a European-based game, similar, but more, I would say, more nuanced than Strategic Command, either War in Europe or World at War. More nuanced game, but in the similar light. And this is an early look at the Pacific campaign for WarPlan. Currently, of course, you may have heard, I presume, War in the East 2 is out. That team is now working on, or continue to work on that a bit, I think, and working on some DLCs for that for War in the East. And they're sort of shifting focus over to Steel Tigers, which is a follow-on to the old Steel Panthers franchise. So I know nothing, as Sergeant Schultz would say, but other than what they've publicly said. Part of it was yesterday on tea time, but I would suspect it's going to be more than a year before we could see something that would be War in the Pacific 2. And I don't know whether War in the West 2 or War in the Pacific 2 is the higher priority. I just don't know. Yeah, we're going to swap these out. Might as well get our better troops up on the front line. Maybe we'll cross the river here. I just don't want to put myself in the trap to be hit by all 4 of those. Apple strudel? Not sure. Haven't they said that war will never happen? Newhauser? Well, I don't know that they've said that. I know they were asked about it. Either I forget whether it was War in the Pacific or War in the West 2. They said they're going to work on DLCs for War in the East before they do any of the other 2 games. And they're also working on Steel Tigers. So I don't know. Yes, Sergeant Schultz and Hogan's Heroes. Yes, I know nothing but what I've heard them say, like at tea time and whatnot. I know some of the streamers here have been, in betas and other things like that. I have not. When it comes to any of this stuff. Yeah, I know a little bit about, things in WarPlan because I know Alvaro and whatnot before it comes public, but I know nothing about War in the Pacific other than what I have heard, sort of publicly at tea time and things. So it's, I can't, I mean, I don't even know anything to spoil what's going on. Even if I wanted to. Okay. Embark. This one. Here. No. Keep right and left clicking wrong. Yes. They'll come out down there. Okay, they're going to hopefully get reinforcements coming. 2x3 Games does great stuff. Yes, they do. They most assuredly do. And this game is designed not to be as detailed as War in the Pacific. It is a design choice. Whether that's a good design choice or not is another question, maybe. But I don't always want to go as detailed as War in the East. Now, again, as if you weren't around, I'm after this stream, probably about an hour after this stream, when it's over, I'm going to be streaming War in the East 2 with a buddy who has over 1,000 hours in War in the East 1. And it may take us a year or more to get through the series that we're going to be playing. At, I don't know, 2 or 3 episodes a week that are going to be, like a turn or so per episode. It's going to take a long time to get through that as we play it. So, yeah, do you want to how long do you want to take a game? How are you finding the AI in this version of the game? Reasonably good. Now, this is reasonably good. I was able to hold here. If you lose here and here, then the Singapore garrison basically starts to starve and they get overrun. But since I was able to hold here, they haven't. And I immediately, instead of trying to hold Rangoon, I immediately fell back behind the Irrawaddy River and back up here initially. and was able to hold the Japanese here in Burma. Now, this is an older AI than what is currently in development, just because I haven't. I wanted to continue with this game instead of start fresh every time. You just see the opening moves. So the AI has developed since what I'm playing. Strategic command. Well, I know Alvaro worked a little bit with the strategic command games group, with Theory Software, but Alvaro really. Look, goes back to, and because I've gotten to know him fairly well now, we share a common sort of starting point with a lot of these games. Back with the old Third Reich game, Avalon Hill's Third Reich, and so yeah, there are significant similarities. They inhabit the same space, but I would say this is more nuanced. The idea of you have rain and heavy rain, as opposed to just rain. Instead of you can attach, in essence, support units like an engineering unit, one support unit to a ground unit. So it's a little bit more. Yes, those were the days. Third Reich. I made it to Advanced Third Reich, the most developed that I got. I bought it. I forget exactly where, but it was sent to me in an envelope. Photocopied pages of the Advanced Third Reich rules that I put in a binder, and some of the editions that were published in some of the magazines. And I got very deep into that way back in the day. So yeah, I have a very deep love of this type of game, and I really like what Alvaro does. Now, I really love what Strategic Command for World War One. That fits their engine so far the best, in my opinion, is World War One. It just does. Again, from my opinion, it just does fit it best. But I enjoy, whether it's the global World at War or War in Europe, I enjoy Strategic Command as well. It has more events, in some ways a little more developed, but I wouldn't say overall by any means. So yeah, now they don't have, they have a global map for Strategic Command, but they do not have a European theater game for it. So if you want to play, not a Pacific theater. So if you want to just play the Pacific theater at this sort of scale, get WarPlan Pacific when it comes out. If you want to play just Europe, you can do either a Strategic Command War in Europe, because I like both the guys, and it's sort of hard. Both the games have good points, but I sort of like WarPlan, the basic Europe better over War in Europe, but they're both very good. And if you want a global game in this space, it would be Strategic Command World at War, which is a very good game. So if you want to play the whole thing and not just one theater, so yeah, you have to sort of look at it in that kind of light, which I'm always wary of anything global. It's in my blood. Yeah, I hear you, Van Bishop, and there was a lot of stuff developed, especially some of it's ported back to WarPlan, some of the development here, but you definitely have the idea that this is a little more tailored for the theater that we're playing in, and not trying to be global. So it's trying to fit the theater that we're fighting in a little more specifically. Okay. Now let's see. I think we deployed everything we were going to deploy. Yes. Let's look at production, because I don't want to forget. Okay, Britain, we're still stockpiling up. The USA, we can I think, again, I'm just going to build more landing ships. Get those to make sure that we can land better. Some more transports so that we can transport things. And more merchant marines so that we can deal with our continued losses to submarines, because we're not doing good anti-submarine work right now. Combination of just not enough ships and, quite honestly, me not sending out ships to try to go hunt after them at the moment. Just got Strategic Command Europe during sale, getting into the menu and looking forward to getting into it. Yeah, it's a very good game. It really is. It's a close call between the two. One of the things that really sort of pissed me off with one of my playthroughs with Strategic Command was I did a German airborne invasion of Cyprus, and it kept raining on my turn, so I couldn't get air support enough in to deal with the British garrison there, and any rain stopped any air support in, and I was without supplies, so my paratroopers were dying. And so that this game has, rain and heavy rain. That with rain you can still do air operations. That's one of my gripes with Strategic Command, and so this is a little more nuanced in that way. It's just that kind of thing. And so looking forward to War in the Pacific, as I don't have specific theater game. Yeah, and that's a good game if, because like I say, I'm going to be playing, War in the East soon. And yes, I like detailed games, but it's not always what I want to play, if you will, if you know what I mean, and what maybe not everybody wants to play. Okay, so now this is really, because before, again, I know I got my fleet munched out here, but that was mostly just an experiment to see what my problems were with invasions, and it was just too heavy of rain, I believe. So we've retreated back from there, which is good. We have some air support. Yes, absolutely, Oxabales. The weather. Yes. Whether or not the weather. What the Japanese, now that we've pulled out, they can do port strikes. It's possible for them to do port strikes. Now it's a question of where their navy is and is it going to try, and we do have. See, now we have good weather out there for their turn. Okay, we've mostly rebuilt our line back here and fairly solid. Thanks, Scooter. It should be fun. And we were talking a couple of days ago, and whether we should just jump in and play and see how it goes, because he said that's one way to play it, or the other way is to try to play it meticulously and deal about assigning equipment to units and all this stuff. And like I say, he has like over 1,000. My friend Exergen has over 1,000 hours in War in the East 1. Obviously, you can't have 1,000 hours, I don't think, yet, unless you're in the beta or something. With War in the East 2, yes, Marines either low or no supply out here. Which I really wish we could supply across the way here. I don't know if I'm just not. Yeah, that's just not going to work. So we're going to fall back. And so, what's the ETA? Well, like I say, we're going to approximately an hour from now ish. We're hoping to. He stuffs up with his work and he may be a little delayed. And so I'm going to live stream it, like I say, on both Twitch and YouTube on my channel. But I will also be making episodes. A lot of people don't want to sit. They see a 2 or 3 hour live stream, and that's just too long to maybe sit through. So they, oh, I'll watch it later, and never end up watching it. So I'll be cutting it into smaller segments for people to consume later. So if it's too late, yeah, it's on both. It'll be on both. I'm going to use Restream and stream to both simultaneously. Okay, so we have... Oh, these guys have forgot to move the monster. Damn. Okay, go to port. Get supplies. Talking too much here. So, yeah, and it'll be... I'll just drop here again. If you haven't already, everyone, you can follow me there on Twitch. Or subscribe on YouTube. So, and we're looking at seeing about keeping it going on Fridays, but that may have to shift or change when we do the live streams. And the basic plan is, because it's a single player game, I'm going to be running the mouse, and what you see here, he'll be seeing a slightly advanced stream of the pictures, and we'll be talking, and he'll be guiding me through it. We'll be talking about the war and all the good stuff, and playing together and making at least strategical decisions together. So, yeah, okay. Now that we have good weather, okay, I'm going to save this again. Let's go LP5. Yes. Okay. Let's come up to here. Okay, we had a little bit of damage. No landing hexes available. Hmm? Okay, well, I don't know why that split off. Oh, okay, well, let's go back and load this. So yes, we want to exit, load. Let's just see if maybe it's not a beach hex there. Okay. Okay, let's come up to here. There are air losses. We had some losses. Okay. Okay, let's... Okay, unselect all. Select these guys. Okay, now we're ashore here. Okay. Okay, here's what we need to do. I'm still learning this, as you guys know. Let's come out here. Right. Okay, so what we're going to do here is, let's unselect everything, and then I'm going to positively select the carrier group, some of the battleships, some of the heavy cruisers, and some of the destroyers here. Okay. They're going to come up to here and deal with that attack. Let's look at combat logs, current naval air interdictions. Strike, defending ships, defender no losses. Okay. Now these guys, okay, close this, I said. These guys are going to come up to here. And they're going to, oh, got our left click. Now these guys are going to come back into port. So I'm not going to risk the rest of the carriers here on any sort of attack. No, actually, nope. Trying to figure out how to do this best. Are you sure? Yes. Trying to figure out, like I say, how to do this best. Okay, let's select, I'm changing this entirely. Let's unselect this. No. Unselect it, here we go. Now everything else, okay, I want to unselect this. We have everything else selected. They're going to come up to near Port Mosby here. Hopefully deal with all of that. These guys are going to come up here alone. Hopefully not get sunk. Good. These guys are going to land ashore. Land ashore in the beach. It's a left click. Okay, and these guys are then going to race home. There we go. There we go. Please define best. Most effective. Because I wanted to get these guys, the surface fleet, in and out and not be struck by either that battle group or some other battle groups sitting there next turn. So we're now ashore with this corps, who I hope to move next turn to Port Mosby, so that we can be able to invade. And I hope they can't get across these mountains effectively to stop me from doing that. That's more of a hope than any sort of a surety. Now let's look at what's going on here in China. We are going a little over the scheduled time. Not too much, but just a little more, I think. Now this is looking pretty good. We've gotten pretty solid. I don't think I'm going to attack here. Yeah, if they push here, we still got enough defense. Okay, that's looking good. That's looking good. This is looking good. We should have, I think, yes, fighter group. They can come here and they can get out of the boats. I know we moved those before and we didn't this time because I got distracted. So yeah, we'll head that way, and we'll head the bullhead out as well. Okay. Well, I think we're going to save going forward for our next time. It should be Friday about the same time. And like I say, I will be back within about an hour, I think, if you want to catch the War in the East 2 stream on my channel. So thank you guys for making it this far. We all really do appreciate those that